So this is the feedback from the area of a circle plenary 1 that you were asked to do at the end of today's lesson. So with all of these questions, if there is a formula that you're using, then that formula should be getting written down first of all. So question 1, what's the area of this circle? And you have to also write your answer to 1 decimal place. You should be looking at that circle and noticing that the one piece of information you have been given, the 15 metres, is actually the distance from the centre to the edge, which is the radius. So we know that the radius is 15 metres. So when we come to use the formula, we begin with area equals pi r squared. So we should have A for area, then you've got pi times, and then you're putting in the 15 and it is getting squared. So on your calculator, you would be expected to remember to get the pi key, you need to do the shift, and that produces your pi. Once you've done the 15, you're then pressing the x squared key to get the 15 squared. Remember that what this means is pi times 15 times 15, right? It's only the 15 that is being squared. If you do that correctly on the calculator, you will find that it will produce an answer that has 225, and then you get the pi key. Now that's an exact value of the area, so we could say the area of that circle is 225 pi, and we could put our units in, which of course here would be square metres. However, quite often we will want the decimal equivalent, and in here in particular they are asking you to get the decimal. So remember that means pressing the SD button on the calculator to convert from the pi format, and that would have come up on your calculator as 706.8583, whole load of other figures. That number should be written down, and then it's that number that you round to 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal place means you're going to where the 8 is, but you're then using the digit after that to help you decide what happens with that number. And of course, because it's a 5 on that second digit, it means that the 8 goes up. So your answer becomes 706.9, and we use the square metres for your units. So of course, if you're looking across here, you will see that that was answer C, was the one that you should have chosen there. For the second question, what's the area of this circle? And give your answer to 2 decimal places. Now notice in this one, the distance that you've been given goes from one side of the circle to the other. That means that you've actually been given the diameter, but we know that to calculate the area, it's the radius measurement that we need. And in one of our first circle lessons, we looked at how if you know what the diameter is, you can half the diameter, and that will tell you what your radius is. So the number that we should have been using to sub into the formula would be the 11. So our formula would look like this. You begin with area equals pi r squared, you then put your numbers in, so you're doing pi times, and it's the 11 that's getting squared. That would be shown on your calculator as 121 pi. And here, because we're looking for the decimal format, if you do that calculation, it comes up as 380.1327, whole load of other digits. We would round that. In this case, you have to round to 2 decimal places, so that means that you'd be going up to where the 3 is, and then you're looking at what follows the 3, and you can see it's a 2. So because that's less than 5, we don't round up, it just remains as 0.13. So 380.13, the units are square centimetres, and you'll see that that matches to answer B. For the third question, what is the area of this circle in terms of pi? So they're not looking for the decimal format here. We are still doing area of a circle. The information you've been given in that circle is the distance from the centre to the edge, which is the radius, which is going to be 6. So your formula that you're doing here, you get area equals pi r squared. So you're going to have area equals pi times, you've got 6 squared. And of course 6 squared, remember, means 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So 36 pi, and because this is area, the units, correct units, are square centimetres. And you will see that that was answer A that you should have chosen in that particular instance. So, and that's it. You don't need to get it to any decimal format. You can just leave it at that point. For question 4, what's the area of this circle? Give your answer to 1 decimal place. And again, notice here that you have in fact been given the distance from one side of the circle all the way through the centre to the other. So in other words, you've been given the diameter. But we know that the number, the measurement that we need to work out the area is the radius. So we have to begin this process by first of all working out the radius, and that means halving your diameter. So your radius here would be 4.3 centimetres. So that's the first bit. Once you've done that, you're then going to go to your calculator and you're doing pi times 4.3 squared. Now that's not going to work out as a nice number of pi. So once you get whatever it gives you in the calculator, remember, press the SD button and you get your answer of 58.0880, whole load of other figures, and we will round that in this case to 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal place means you're going to where the 0 is, but because it's followed by an 8, that has the effect of making the 0 go up, and so your answer becomes 58.1. And of course everything here is in centimetres, so your area is in square centimetres. And then the last question, question 5, what's the area of a circle with diameter of 20 centimetres? So again, no diagram here, but it's talking about the diameter being 20 seconds. But of course, if we want to work out area, it's the radius we need. So we know that we need to halve that, so we get 10. Then we're using our formula, so area equals pi times 10 squared, which is 10 times 10, means 100, and your answer would therefore be 100 pi. You should also have the area units, which here would be square centimetres. So 100 pi would be our answer, so that would be answer C. So if you can, check those against your pieces of work and look at where you maybe made errors or places that you can check or improve on either the layout of your work in, or if you didn't round correctly, or forgot to change the diameter into or half it to get your radius and so on. So have a look, give yourself some feedback and see how you can improve on your working.